I'm starting to suspect this nice code week wasn't such a good idea, but it's the last day, and might as well get it out of the way. Especially can't get any worse than that other game. So let's look at Little Witch, where you control a little witch in a defender kind of clone, and that waterfall's giving me a seizure. Um, It's Defender. You have to defend the little truck things. I don't know why the trucks are smaller than your little witch thing. And, yeah, that background's giving me a headache. I don't need a headache after playing that horrid game. Anyways, we're gonna move on to something else. Let's see if we can find something else to talk about on this final day of Nice Code Week. Okay, we'll look at Pikachu, but I really don't want to talk about Pikachu. You want to know why I don't want to talk about Pikachu? Quite simply, it is a clone of Tetris. Specifically Tengen Tetris, or Tengen Tetris, or whatever you want to call it, the unlicensed version of Tetris that appeared on the NES, and I could talk about Tetris anytime. I don't need to talk about it here, but for anyone who actually cares, it's not a bad version of Tetris. It's a completely playable version of Tetris. Control's a bit spotty here and there, but you know what? I could talk about Tetris any other time, and there's plenty of better versions of Tetris. But how about Falling Blocks now? That's kind of unique, right? It's almost like Tetris, except it's got some weird pieces. In addition to your usual Tektronomos, you also got these extra bits, and I gotta admit, I don't like this version of Tetris all that much. If you really need to play a version of Tetris that's different, I don't know. I don't like this even when I was in a good mood, and you know what? I think I want to move on to something else, and we shall do that right now. Yeah, okay, so let's see if we can find something else here. Okay, well, we'll try Polk, which is a pinball game. Pinball games on the NES aren't the greatest, but they usually work. And Polk, well, it's more like that one. Huh? Okay, it's like pinball, but the pinball physics suck. Suffice it to say, you might have a better pinball playing experience on the NES by playing pinball for the NES. It's better than this, at least. Is there any one game I could? Come on, there's gotta be something. River jump and okay, so you're the little jungle boy on the side, and you gotta wait until you're on the shape that you're on presently crosses, and then you could jump on that shape and you could cross to the other side of the river, and I don't know, have fun there, I guess. And yeah. By the way, a lot of these games are also on that pixel player thing that I still have to put together. Hopefully by the end of the year, you'll get the whole shebang on that count. But you know what? I've been holding it off long enough. The next game that pops up, we're going to look at, and it's mowing. Okay, whatever. We're looking at mowing. So, mowing. You control a lawnmower and you have to mow the lawn. And that's all there is to it. Think of it as a larger scale Miss Pac-Man. Except instead of eating pellets in a maze, you're eating grass in a wide open space. Instead of evading ghosts, you're avoiding guard dogs and mole creatures that pop up here and there. And instead of eating power pellets to scare off the ghosts, you consume gas canisters that will grant you a temporary speed boost, as well as an ability to stun dogs for a short time. Yes, you run over a dog with a lawnmower that has spinning blades underneath, and it's only flattened and stunned for a short period of time. Nice. Like in Miss Pac-Man, you have multiple stages, only 4 stages, after which it loops back to the first with no notable increase in challenge. But hey, at least there's different stages, and I will gladly take that over... Anyways, mowing is simple and straightforward, and is perhaps the most enjoyable game of the Nice Coat output I've played all week. Now I admit, it's not exactly a high bar to achieve, but whatever, I'll take it. But seriously, the premise is straightforward if not a bit dull, the controls work about as well as you'd expect, the overall gameplay is relatively functional for the most part, and despite the premise, or rather in spite of the premise, I was actually able to enjoy mowing despite its somewhat repetitive nature. The only real quibble is the third level in the loop, which breaks when you pick up a gas canister, as controls suddenly become unresponsive, especially if you want to go up and down. Certain bits of level becomes grass that is mowed, and well, it's the third level where these issues come up. Why this level only and not the entire game, I really don't know, but 3 out of 4 working levels ain't too bad at least. Graphically speaking, it's not much to look at, is it? There's lots of green, some fences, a couple plants, dogs, and your fully sentient lawnmower. At worst, you could at least make out what's what, so that's a positive, and at best, well, I've seen worse looking games, and this one's just about average. At least by Nice Code standards. Sound-wise, you have one constantly annoying tune that plays throughout the game with minimal sound effects. Again, I've heard worse music on the 8-bit Nintendo, but when you have the one tune playing throughout the game, especially 25 levels in, let me tell you, it gets old 6 months before you start playing the game. So, yeah, if you come across a plug-and-play Famiclone device with a bunch of bootleg, pirate original, aftermarket, 8-bit rubbish games, and there's a mowing game on there, you should probably play it. It's perhaps the best of the Nice Code stuff that I've played, and perhaps even yet to play. And thus we come to the end of Nice Code Week. And may I just say, thank fuck for that. I'm done.